In this video, I'm going to sit down with my coaching student Max on how he hit $40,000 a month in revenue with Amazon online arbitrage, and he only started at the end of April. We're going to break down what tactics he used to find success and how you can do the exact same thing. If you're interested in getting similar help, my coaching program application is down below. Let's get right into the video.
What's up, Max? Thanks for joining me.
Hey, how's it going, man? Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. It feels like just, early May, April, we were getting started and stuff, but you just want to fill everyone in terms of like your current sales numbers. Then we'll get into your background, what you're looking to do, and how, most importantly, the people watching this can get results quick in a similar fashion.
Yeah, of course. So I started in late April, early May, and now I'm currently at 40,000 a month. So it was a pretty aggressive scale, but that's where we're at right now.
Sure. And so that's probably in the range of like, I know we're working on the profit margin sheet, but like probably like six to $8,000 of profit, that ballpark.
Yeah, right around 15%.
Exactly. Yeah. And like what's clutch too, bro, is back to school coming up. That should go up, right? With stuff, increasing in price, increasing in demand, certainly, and such. And then, so in terms of just background wise, right? Like, were you as a kid always interested in business, or like what made you want to get into this stuff?
Yeah, so I've always passively been interested in business, and then I've always listened to a bunch of podcasts and etc. I've never actually sold anything online until April of 2023. So it was like my first sale online was through Amazon, which was crazy. So yeah, I didn't really have a background in flipping. I just knew that I was competent enough to figure it out if I had the right tools, and that's kind of where the roadmap, and I'm sure we'll get into that, and the coaching came into hand. But yeah, I had no experience at all, so I was a little scared at first, to be honest, because I hadn't, I'd talked to some people, I started on eBay, etc., but it ended up working fine, obviously. So
yeah. So the way I see it is like Amazon's the best vehicle, but some people just fortunately, like kind of like myself, had to start kind of naturally in other places, right? The good thing is, even if you get going with Amazon with like right away, there's a huge learning curve, but like you were gonna start doing it eventually anyway in terms of like the best vehicle, right? So you see a lot of like eBay people switch over to Amazon, sneaker people switch over to Amazon, stuff like that basically. But in terms of breaking down like revenue per month, right? So what was May, what was June? We obviously went over what July was, and then we want to talk about, okay, what was the catalyst for that? Like, how are you seeing results quick in a way a lot of other people aren't?
Right. Yeah. So the biggest thing, well, there's a couple factors that play into this. One, it was, having the knowledge. So I would say, obviously, the roadmap, extremely important. Coaching definitely boosted me. Showing my face on Twitter, social media, networking is insane. But I think in terms of actual like moving product was FBM. I just recently started doing FBA, but the first couple months were all FBM. So I was in the trenches, packaging everything myself. I'd wake up, package orders before, go to work, come home, package some more orders, go to bed, wake up, package orders. But you learn so much faster, and you're able to scale so much quicker because the return on your investment just comes back so much quicker. Your money comes back, your cash flow is so much better through FBM. So, a lot of people DM me on Twitter and stuff and ask me, how do I get started? What's the best way? And I always tell them, like, first things first. Don't even, like, you can do FBA if you want, but I tell them FBM everything at first. It's just a no-brainer when you're in, the beginning stages of learning. And I think that's why I was able to scale so quickly.
Yeah, so let's talk about that, right? Because there's like a stigma that FBM takes more work, right? In my opinion, it actually takes less work, because if we consider the time value, right? Sure, okay, you take a little bit of extra time, right, shipping stuff out individually, right, rather than sending stuff off to Amazon. However, you're going to see if a purchase was good within 3 to 5 days of having that product live, right? Meanwhile, with FBA, you're not going to know if a purchase was good for 2 to 3 weeks on average. Right. So you're getting data back a lot quicker. And I think in terms of momentum, which I think is a big theme of this stuff, right? That's really, really powerful to get going initially. Now, let's talk about that, right? Because some people watching this aren't sure if they can get the BuyBox FBM, right? So how do we go ahead and get the BuyBox FBM?
So I haven't really had, you want to make sure you're going on a listing that has some BuyBox share that has FBM on it, of course. And then you have to price a little bit competitively. So, if someone's selling something $100 FBA, you might want to price, I think you and Garrett say 1 to 3% within BuyBox.
Right around it. Yeah. And sometimes a little, especially this time of year, sometimes a little bit higher, but you get a sense of, right, because you have all the data with Keepa.
Right. Yeah. And like Miles was saying, well, I don't know, like you were saying, yeah, you're able to learn so much quicker. And if you value your time, initially you want to do FBM because, you might cut 8 to 12 months out of the learning curve. And that's so valuable. I don't know what you would value your time at working 20 hours a week for the next year, but it's a lot higher than what it would be if you just FBM stuff to learn quicker. So
Yeah, and the power of business is that over time, your inputs give you way, way bigger outputs, right? And at the start with the stuff, it's investment of time, right? And then it's eventually knowledge, right? Virtual assistants, working with other people, right? You build more leverage over time, right? But I think the big thing too is, right, obviously understanding, being able to see if other people are getting sales on a product, right? Which comes from going on Keepa, hitting data, and then hitting BuyBox statistics right there. As well, something I want a lot of you guys to consider doing that are watching this, especially the next 6 weeks with back to school, is going to be considering going 1 day or 0 day handling time. Right there, that you're going to have to ship those products out quicker, but that's going to increase your buy box share because customers are going to see closer delivery dates, which is going to help you get the buy box further on that, right? But obviously, getting sales is great, but how do we find products, right? So let's talk about how do we actually find products, right? Coupons, discounted gift cards, sales, stuff like that, because you started when it was a lot harder than it is now because of all the back to school stuff going on and everything like that. But product research, man, what are we doing for that?
So there's definitely a ton of sales going on right now. And if you're watching this right now, this is just dropping, early August, end of July. Definitely make sure you're capitalizing on the sales momentum, because I've seen it just pick up in the past few months for sure. In terms of sourcing, so initially I started out really just reverse sourcing and storefront stalking other sellers and kind of figuring out stuff like that. And that's a good way to really get your feet wet and kind of understand the market and see what other people are selling. See what's selling for what, and just kind of immersing yourself in the ecosystem of other sellers. And then, now I do a lot more manual sourcing since I've gotten a little better. And that seems to be my favorite now. It's kind of like a treasure hunt. You pull up your favorite websites, different websites you have that you kind of learn as you go. You start to get a catalog of websites that you realize have coupons and everything. And, Miles always talks about building a moat around your products. So what that looks like is coupons, special short sales. If the sale is going on for 2 months, you got to take that into account. Some people, it's going to, more people will likely find it, which means the product might have a price dip rather than just a 1 day, 24-hour flash sale. Like that's when okay, I'm going to go super deep on some ASINs that I really know based on the chart data are going to do well, etc. And like with the FBM, which is crazy, is you can literally buy something, have it shipped, get it the next day, and then sell it the same day, which is insane. And it makes so much sense to do FBM.
Yeah, and
I'll keep saying it, but
yeah, it helps you learn a ton too. So yeah, guys, seriously, consider testing that stuff out, right? The nice thing is this time of year, you can see there's a lot of FBM sellers on listings. Those people are doing that for a reason, man. They're making money on that stuff. You're looking at two of them right there. So it's really, really important, basically. But another thing, right? So tactically, obviously, sourcing, FBM, but there's also the big intangible benefit of making friends that do this, right? Which was a huge catalyst for me. I know it's a huge catalyst for you. How do people watching this go ahead and actually do that, though?
So if you log on to Flipstore LLC matchmaking.com, you'll find, no, I'm kidding. So, and you've probably said this, I don't know, 300,000 times in the past year. I was watching all of the BuyBox Bandits episodes, and Miles was kind of saying, guys, you got to show your face on Twitter. Guys, you got to tweet. And I was kind of shy. I didn't really have social media before, but it's crazy. And obviously he was right. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll see all the engagement I have. And, I've built this small little following, and I'm in the community now, and it's amazing. You meet so many people through social media. It's called social media for a reason. You're supposed to meet people. So if you find the Amazon community and you just upload, what I did initially was just uploaded, 30 to a minute second video of me talking every single day to the camera for like 30 days, 2 months. And the amount of people you'll get that DM you, hey man, you look really cool, you seem really nice, like let's work, let's hop on a Zoom call, let's do this. People would just send you leads. It's crazy. Like you would, like if you're first starting out and you're hearing this, finding leads may be like very difficult and very stressful.
It should be. It's definitely yeah.
And it's stressful. And I know other people will tell them, like Miles would constantly say like, oh, like, I think I had texted you a couple times and I was like, bro, like, I don't know, like I'm having trouble. And he's like, dude, like you need to like, how many people have you reached out to? I'm like, no one. He's like, well, that's your problem. And no one wants to hear that when they're in the trenches struggling. But
that's why you need to do it, though. You guys can scroll back, watch this. You can scroll back to early flips for Miles when I'm like, I sent out this first box today. This book sale sucked, right? But that key was that got me so much free consulting from a selfish perspective, right? You start getting to meet people and you just start making more money, right? And all of that costs zero, right there to meet the boys, to work with the boys? Because I see you guys are on Zoom all the time now.
Yeah, we have a great group that Miles kind of helped us through the coaching, but Peter actually had reached out to me on Twitter, and then we got a whole, now we call it like a mastermind, like a cook group, whatever. And that is like so key. I mean, besides the knowledge and everything else, no, I don't want to work by myself. And it's tough because I don't know anyone in real life. None of my friends do this. So you got to find and expand out of your comfort zone. And I promise you, if you put a video of you talking on Twitter for 30 days straight, 30 seconds, just every day, hey, here's some FBM packages. Hey, if sourcing couldn't find anything, whatever. I'm telling you, your life will really change. It sounds too good to be true, but like it's that simple. If you just do it, and you got to be consistent for 30, 60 days, see what happens.
Yeah, and that costs you nothing too, right? You just have to get over the fear of what if your high school friends find it. But your high school friends aren't going to help you make the money you want to make in the first place too. On that. So just to summarize here, right? So FBM's been really helpful, right? Making friends, documenting online is so helpful as well. And then ultimately just seeking out these good opportunities, right? And combining them if possible, right? Coupons, discounts, stuff like that. The nice thing is that we're getting into a really, really easy 6-week period here. So what are your plans in August in terms of moving forward? How much do you think you can improve?
Oh man, these banks need to let me play ball. That's all I can say. No, yeah. I mean, I'm just really going deeper on things that I know are going to sell back to school. And I've been looking at the charts for the past couple months, kind of getting a little bit ready for it. And, buying certain things that school products like backpacks, pencils, stuff like that is going to be big, markers, etc. And it's my first one. So once again, I'm still learning as I go as well. So it's not like I have this all figured out, but that's the beautiful thing is you go through it once and everything in Amazon is so cyclical, like all these sales every single year, like you start to realize like what sells and, last year, I want a backpack last year. Like, I don't know, let's see how we got, so I'm just looking forward to next year too, learning everything as I go. So yeah.
Yeah, dude, I've learned a ton with like Kiva product finder and stuff and like cosmetics and beauty the past like couple months. I used to know nothing about that. But you learn over time, where you start talking to people that are doing that full time, right? When I'm doing like a lot of clothing full time,
right?
And such basically. And then where can everyone find you on Twitter?
Where is it? Over here.
Over here. Right there. Yeah, it'll be linked below. Make sure
I'm not really mad.
Right there. And let's keep building. Okay, the sky's the limit with this stuff for Max, for myself, for everyone watching as well. Let's get after these next 6 weeks.
DM me if you have any questions. My DMs are always open, so shoot me a DM, tweet at me. Troll me if you want. It's fine. I'm cool with it. So whatever.
All right, be great. Let's keep killing it.
Awesome. See ya.